Yeah. Come on. Let's go. Yes, sir. Yeah, come on in, man. Come on in, New York Giant fans / soldiers. Come on in, man. This is the Giant Huddle. I know I said I was going to do this stream on Sunday, but I had so much time. I was like, nah, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and rock out. We have a few things to talk about. Yeah, this dude right here, Rogue Shadow, he just loves some attention. And I'm glad you were here because I want all the Eagle fans. I want all the Eagle fans to come holler at me for a second, man, because I wanna address y'all. For sure. So come on in, man. Come on in, everybody. Make sure that you like, make sure that you comment, and most importantly, make sure that you subscribe. Let's get straight into it, man. I don't want to waste too much more of your time. Let's get into it. Let's go.
Two official, blue the flag, blue the whistle, 3 words, 2 ignition.
Now my counter.
AKA tiger.
We built for this shit. We don't fold. We don't fucking fold.
Keep applying pressure to the fold, going closer. Take away the
I don't think he stepped out either. That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen.
He might go all the way. Manning lobs it. Burris alone. Touchdown, New York.
It's your guy who is never lying, sometimes defiant, TP Way the Giant. Again, welcome to the Giant Huddle, man. This is where the rawest of the raw form of content on this page is held. This is where Giant fans, Giant soldiers, where we come, and we meet up and we huddle, man. We talk about whatever, we argue about whatever, we debate about whatever, we laugh, we cry about whatever it is, we do it over here at the Giant Huddle. But today, man, I do want to start by addressing these Eagle fans, man. These Eagle fans that have just been acting like a thorn, truly acting like a thorn. I want to go ahead and converse with y'all for a second. First, let me just give a fair warning. If you have any kids around, if you are underage, if you do not want to hear vulgar language, at this point in time, I'm just going to ask that you please exit, that you just please leave. Give me about a good 3 minutes or so, maybe 4, maybe 5, and we will get back to regular scheduled programming. But yes, let me just address these weak ass Eagle fans, man. I've been trying my best, man. I really have. I've been trying my best to focus on Giant shit. I've been trying my best to leave y'all alone. Y'all been making it so easy for me to clown y'all. And it's crazy because I really should have nothing to say to y'all, as y'all are the Super Bowl champions. But I want y'all to look at what I'm about to show you, and I want y'all to take a good moment to understand what this means and what this is. Now, I'm going to start here. The NFC East holds the most Super Bowl wins by a division. I want you to think about that. When people speak about the NFC East, I always tell them to watch your tone and to address us with a certain level of respect, because at the end of the day, rings matter over everything. That's why we do this thing. So if we have the most by any and every division in football, every other division should address us with a certain level of respect. Now, what does this have to do with the Eagles? Eagle fans, look at the bottom of this motherfucker right here. Look at the bottom. You guys just got your second ring, and y'all are addressing Giant fans, and you're talking to Giant fans like you are in the middle of the pack or like you are in the front of the pack. And you know what bothers me about y'all? What bothers me is this, is that y'all literally try to swipe away the past because the past is a reminder of who y'all truly are. Y'all try to hit us with a line that people use for Dallas that you cannot use on us. I was talking to an Eagle fan the other day, and he was like, oh, you got to use a VCR to watch your Super Bowls. Yo, save that shit. That's a corny-ass line that somebody made up for the Cowboys, and you're trying to use it on us, and you can't. You can't. We have a Super Bowl for every decade. So what you're experiencing now, you're on your second ring. Congratulations. We've been done that. We've been done that. So I don't care about what you tell me. Respect the fact that we've been putting y'all on our fucking back. And we are the reason on why the NFC East deserves the respect. And y'all just been hanging on our coattail for years. We have the most Super Bowl wins by a division, and it's not because of y'all. So welcome to the party. Welcome. Y'all sitting here, y'all don't even truly understand how to basking in the moment of winning the Super Bowl. Y'all so not used to this shit. This was the worst example of gratitude of winning the Super Bowl I've ever seen from a team. Your whole team is crashing out right now. You're having shootings at the parade and shit like that. I was watching an interview the other day, Devontae Smith, and he was talking about, yeah, the Super Bowl win. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It felt which means it really wasn't that exciting to me. It was You know why it was Because there's a difference between getting it from the mud, having players that is homegrown, that you went through the mud with, and going and rising and winning a bowl, than grabbing from other people's plate. Think about it. Even this past Super Bowl ring, there's no Super Bowl ring without the fucking Giants, because Saquon literally put y'all on your back. But I want to make this clear. I really want to make this clear. There's nothing wrong with how y'all won the Super Bowl. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. You got to get there, and you got to do it by any means necessary. You got whatever way. But I'm saying there's a difference. There's a difference. See, when we won our Super Bowls, it damn near almost brought me to tears. And it felt like, Nah, it felt like, God damn, man, we really did this shit. You know why? Because the core of who we were when we won our bowls were New York Giants. We're New York Giants. A.J. Brown is not an Eagle. That's the prodigy of the Titans. Saquon Barkley is not an Eagle like that. He's the product of the Giants. And the list goes on. So y'all stop trying to troll and do all that extra shit and talk all that big boy shit, because I want y'all to understand this right here. Y'all are still the little dogs of this shit, man. Y'all are still the little dogs of this shit. And one thing that you cannot do is you cannot wipe away history. Stop with that lame ass comeback trying to say, oh, how long ago was it when we won? No, it wasn't that long ago, for one. And for two, the thing about history is you cannot wipe that shit away. It is cemented. It is there forever. You don't talk about the NFL. You don't tell the story about the NFL. You don't even think about Super Bowls without thinking about the New York fucking Giants. We the most legendary in this shit. You talk about the New York Giants, you talking about the greatest performance in Super Bowl history. We put on shows. This is another thing I want y'all to understand. We are so legendary. We are so legendary that y'all don't even be realizing how legendary we are. Let me explain this to you. You know that defense. You know that chant that is used all around the globe, all around the world? You know who created that shit? Giant fans. Giant fans in 1956. We created that shit. Eagle fans, I'll wait. I'll give you a second. Y'all let me know what's some legendary shit y'all came up with. I'll wait. I'll give you some time. I'll wait. No, I'm gonna still give you some time because I understand you got to think about it some more. So I'm gonna give you some time. I'm gonna give you even more time. Go ahead. I'll wait. The Gatorade bath. You know, after you win a historic game, a big game, you throw the Gatorade bath on your coach. You know who created that? You know who was the originals of that shit? The New York Football Giants. Harry Carson is the originator of the Gatorade bath. See, when you could talk your talk like that, Eagle fans, let me know. Let me know. We really be playing humble on a lot of shit. But it's about time I remind y'all, man. Y'all be really lately. Y'all been acting like y'all the big dogs of this shit for real, man. And I let y'all rock because y'all the Super Bowl champions. I let you get y'all shit off. But the way y'all just forgetting about the totality of this whole thing is mind blowing to me. It's mind blowing. So for now on, man, when y'all address me, when y'all address a Giant fan, you better respect us. Respect us like the legends that we are. You better put a sir in front of that motherfucker. So stop with that whole like y'all the big boy shit. Stop with that. And I'm gonna end it on that. Now I'm gonna let y'all handle the clown show in the chat. I don't got time for it. I said what I said. But it's about time, man. Somebody really talk to these Eagle fans, man, because they're getting a little bit out of control, man. They really are. And that shit, it's corny. They so corny too, man. They so corny. I can't stand these dudes. I really can't. They are so corny. Shit don't even look lit over there for them. They made it so easy for me to even move on from all of this shit. They just so whack. I'll give y'all this. Because I'll give y'all this kudos. The only thing that I can really give y'all is that Eagle fans, y'all have some of the nicest looking women in football. I'll give y'all that. I'll give y'all that. And I just learned that these really, I seen some Eagle fans that just popped out of the woodwork. So I don't even know if they true Eagle fans or whatever. But I just hey, I don't know. I seen some joints and I was like, whoa, okay, all right, okay, okay, Philly. But that's about it. That's about it. You're still a fan base full of clowns. Now let's get back to regular schedule proceedings, man. Let's get back to it. We had some free agent signings this past few days just to play catch up. Of course, I have to start with Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston, I made a video yesterday about my initial reaction to how I felt about this signing. Not mad at it at all, not one bit, man, because I see the bigger picture. Joe Shane now has one job in this first round with its third pick, and that's to build on top of this. Having Jameis Winston as your backup quarterback, that is pretty much as good as it's going to get, to be honest with you. He's at the top of the list when it comes to backup quarterbacks. But he's just perfect fitting for what we need over here with the Giants. Because we need a locker room guy. And I know we can have our personal opinions about, maybe the theatrics or, the character that Jameis Winston is. But I have not seen that not work for players. When I watch how players play hard for Jameis Winston, it is because of the motivation that he gives to that locker room. It is the added confidence, the added boost that he provides to that locker room. So when they are on the field, they feel that comfort that they get from Jameis Winston, and it translates to on the field. But we'll talk about that a little bit more, man, because we're going to break down just on roster the holes that we have and that we got to pay attention to going into the draft. But Jameis Winston is, in my book, is a definite win. It's a definite win. Lil Jordan Humphrey. Lil Jordan Humphrey, man, is a big body target, man. A big body target. I was listening to, him interviewing with some giant, beat writers and media personnel, and him saying how he just loves to approach the game with just physicality. That's his thing. Whether it's special teams or whether it's offensively, he takes pride in being that big body target, but he takes pride in getting that yak after catches. He takes pride in manhandling his opponent. This is coming off the Giants site. Humphrey at 6'4" and 225 pounds. He's entering his 7th NFL season. He has played in 58 regular season games with 23 starts for the Saints, Patriots, and Broncos. His career numbers include 62 receptions for 770 yards, 12.4 yards per catch, and 7 touchdowns. Humphrey has also appeared in 3 postseason games, including a start for Denver this past season. Humphrey played in every game over the last 2 years with the Broncos, starting a career high 8 games in 2023 and 7 in 2024. He posted personal best in receptions, 31, and yards, 293 this past season. So one thing that is a theme of things, man, when it comes to these depth pieces that we are adding that I'm paying attention to, is that a lot of these guys are coming off of season best. They're coming off of season best performances. So these depth pieces that we are adding, whether they're just special team guys or they could just be, emergency depth pieces for the offense, that's just something to pay attention to. So Lil Jordan Humphrey, that's a crazy name. That's hard though. It's a hard name. Yeah, welcome to the Giants. Victor Dumukeje. Yeah, man, God, VD. I'm gonna call him VD. I ain't even gonna try that. VD. This dude, man, he is a big time special teamer, and he as well is coming off his best season. Again, coming off the Giants website is VD, man, is a 6'2" and 262 pounds. Has played in 55 games with 8 starts since being drafted by the Arizona Cardinals in the 6th round of the 2021 NFL Draft. The outside linebacker has registered 67 tackles, 42 solo, 4 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, 16 quarterback hits, 2 forced fumbles, and 1 pass defense across his first 4 seasons. His best campaign came in 2023 when he started 6 games and recorded all 4 of his career sacks, along with 5 tackles for loss, 8 quarterback hits, and 1 forced fumbles. In addition to his snaps on defense, DV also played at least my fault. VD also played at least 65% of Arizona's special team snaps over the last 3 seasons. So yes, I definitely think this is a special teamer right here. Um, I I guess you would. This is a depth piece at the outside linebacker position, but his main priority, I believe, is going to benefit us from special teams. So I see us putting a lot of emphasis on special team guys, and as you know, again, it's not one of the sexiest things, but it's much needed, man. It's much needed. So that's pretty much that on that. I want to get into the conversation of focusing on the holes that we have on this roster. I see us, making subtle moves, adding a couple depth pieces here and there, and just trying to do our best with fill these holes. But a lot of it, man, a lot of it is going to be answered in this draft. But as we head to this draft, these are just some things and positions, some position groups, man, that we want to pay attention to. So these are kind of like my major ones here that I think that is just, worth mentioning. And we'll start here with the wide receivers. So here we have our wide receiver group in here with Malik Neighbors, Darius Slayton, Wandale Robinson, Jalen Hyatt, Bryce Ford Wheaton, Amir Smith Marset, Lil Jordan Humphrey. This is light. This is light. And if last season didn't happen, I would feel a lot better. But I'm not pleased with this right here. The question mark that is beside the Jalen Hyatt name is a concern for me. Because I sat here watching the Giants game after game after game, wondering if they were going to figure out how to add Jalen Hyatt, man, to this offense and put the ball in his hands. And it just never was there. It just never was there. All 18 games, there was no Jalen Hyatt sighted. Now, I think that the skill is still there, which is so weird because it seemed like he had himself a good, training camp and things of that nature. Just when the season got there, it didn't translate at all. I mean, it was like a switch was completely shut off. So with Jalen Hyatt having that big question mark next to his name, man, it really does bring a big concern to this whole grand scheme of things. Amir Smith Marset is really a special teamer. Lil Jordan Humphrey, he's a depth piece, but he's not something to me that I feel like, moves a needle. And Bryce Ford Wheaton, man, we know what we getting out of him. So I would like to definitely pay attention to this receiving room, and I definitely want to add a guy. I definitely want to add a guy that kind of moves the needle. And you always want to go into these situations thinking, man, like if one guy goes down, then what's next? So um this receiver core, man, it's not horrible. It's not something that I don't think that it is far off, but I definitely think that we're missing a piece. I definitely feel that way. So we'll see. We'll see. We also have this offensive line. This offensive line is, if not the biggest, one of the biggest question marks. Now, when we look at this starting offensive line, that's one thing. I'm not mad at it. I'm not tripping about our starters at all. But where it gets tricky for me is when we look at what's behind them. There's been reports of Evan Neal is going to be moving a guard this year. But then that also leaves a tackle position that needs to be addressed. I've already expressed that I'm not excited at all with a Joshua Ezeudu. So there needs to be competition there as well. But for sure, man, there's some guard positions. There's some guard positions that are question marks. So this offensive line, what I feel like it is truly missing, man, is the theme of what we've talked about, all so far this offseason. It's depth. Depth, depth, depth. That's what we need, man. That's what we need. And so we definitely got to put a big emphasis on that in this draft. And I would really like to see them compete, man. I would really like to see people compete this offseason and in mini camp and training camp to fight for these backup spots. Because I say it all the time, man. If you want to see a solid offensive line doesn't look shredded to pieces or doesn't go down if one man is missing from the lineup. That's not a solid offensive line. You don't want to just look good with your starting group. That's not a solid offensive line. Give me some depth in there so where if one man goes down, we not falling to pieces, and we not playing a mismatching game trying to connect the puzzle. So this is definitely something that we gotta, still address and keep our eyes on. Now, of course, this is the obvious one, right? But like I was saying, I see the pieces coming together. We have our quarterbacks right now on rosters, Jameis Winston and Tommy DeVito. Now, let's be clear. If you put a Shador Sanders, or you never know what may happen. Like, again, I don't see a Cam Ward making it to us. But, if something crazy does happen on draft night, Cam Ward makes it to us, this QB room is definitely an upgrade from last year's. I can't picture a world where we are not going into this draft, not getting ourselves one of the two quarterbacks in Cam Ward or Shador. I don't see it. I really don't see it. I think it's damn near a given at this point. If Joe does anything else besides that, he has completely dropped the ball. Completely. Again, I love the Jameis Winston pick because I take it for what it is. I take it for him being a backup, but also him being that veteran presence in this locker room. That's why I love the Jameis Winston pickup. But if we don't get our guy, man, if we don't get our quarterback in this draft, yeah, it's a failure. This is a failure. Respectfully, I'm not thinking about no Jackson Dart. Get me Shador or Cam Ward. Simple as that. I've been pushing that, and I'm gonna continue to push it. Shador or Cam Ward. But I see the light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to this QB room and situation. Then you have your running back room, which you have Tyrone Tracy Jr., Devin Singletary, Eric Gray. Now, a lot of people are not too fond of Devin Singletary. I've gone on record to say that, to be honest with you, I like Devin Singletary, man. I like Devin Singletary. A lot of people forget, man, he was running the ball pretty well in the earlier part of the season. I challenge a lot of people, go look at that Brown game, man. Go look at that Browns game. He didn't look bad at all. But one thing that has been a problem for him this past season, which really has never been a problem for him, to be honest with you, it's his fumbling. His fumbling issues. But that's been our whole running back from really everybody. That's been everybody that you've seen up here has had fumbling issues. But I like Devin Singletary, man. I do. This dude run hard. He's one to add a little, thump to things. He's not going down on the first thing of contact. And that 1-2 punch, I wouldn't be mad at. Now, Eric Gray, that's a different story. Eric Gray, I'm done with Eric Gray. I got nothing for an Eric Gray. I'm not excited when it comes to Eric Gray at all. But I'm looking for more of a thumper. I'm looking for a thumper, somebody who could help us in that pass protection as well. Give me that Brandon Jacobs caliber type running back, that bruiser. So when we get into these 3rd and 2 situations and 4th and 1s, we can hand the ball off to whoever, and we know we're gonna at least get that yard or two. Everybody and their mama know he's gonna get the ball, but so what? How you gonna stop it? I need one of those type of guys. So this is another thing, man, and I've been keeping my eye on a little bit. I've been hearing the different opinions about the whole Devin Singletary thing, and again, I just hope that we have somebody in here that's going to coach these guys up to where we could really address this fumbling issue, man, that has been a problem last season, for real. The defensive line, man, particularly the interior defensive line, that's really one of the biggest ones as well. These trenches, man, nothing shakes without these trenches. We definitely need to get Dexter Lawrence, his guy. Man, I miss Leonard Williams, bro. I miss Leonard Williams. Because if we could get that back, man, we are really cooking with hot grease, man. For real. Shout out to AJ Lee, man. AJ Lee says famous fucking Jameis. Yeah, man. So I do like the depth pieces, man, that we've added. They're good for what they're good for. Chauncey Golston to me is one that was a really nice one. I feel like he's going to really add to putting, that pressure on to quarterbacks, and he's going to be that true added depth piece that kind of, fills in for what we've missed in Aziz. But yeah, we got to add on to this, man. We got to add on to this. But with this draft coming up, I mean, it's like we've said plenty of times before, the defensive line, these interior guys, it is so stacked in this draft that I just don't see a world where we don't get a guy, man. I don't see a world where we don't get a guy out of this draft, and we don't take advantage of this deep class when it comes to that. This cornerback room now. This is interesting because you have your starting two as of now, as we're looking at Paulson Adebo and Deonte Banks. Deonte Banks going back to that CB2 role. I'm excited for. I feel like this is where he could best develop as a player. I feel like this is where he could best shine. He could feed off of Paulson Adebo. bringing the energy on the other side. I like this. I like this 1-2 combo right here. They have a similar play style. Hopefully, we get back to that, all in your face man type of defense. Shane Bowen needs to cook that up for sure. But where it gets interesting with with the full like release and letting Adoree Jackson go is that kind of changes things with how I kind of felt about the death. Adoree Jackson is somebody who, again, a lot of people may not have been a fan of, but I like him as a death piece. I really did. I like him as a death piece. But I feel like now we have to make up for that. Cordell Flott is somebody who's really coming into his own, man. He had himself a good season last year. I feel like he's really getting more and more comfortable on what he's doing out there, and you could just see it in his play. Trey Hawkins is still a developing corner that we want to see more from, and these other guys are still, Art Williams, D. Williams, and Devon Wilson are still just, fighting for that spot and making a name for themselves. But I still would like a guy that can take that Adoree Jackson slot that is in that at least between that Deonte Banks and Cordell Flott area, I would say. Or at least the Cordell Flott and Trey Hawkins space. Give me a depth piece guy that I feel like, we could go in there. And again, you always have to address these situations as to if one goes down. I mean, what are we looking at? So cornerback is definitely something that we still should pay attention to, because you don't want to have just one piece of the puzzle, man. You don't want to go in there with a safety group. You don't want to go in there with a defensive line getting together, but then you lacking with some weak ass situational corners and stuff. So that is something else as well, man, that we keeping a close eye on. And then last but certainly not least, man, you have your edge guys, Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns. Look, man, phenomenal. This is going to be their second year together. Hopefully they could just build on, what they had going last year. It was one part of the season. I don't want people to forget, man, that this D-line was wrecking shit. So we just want to get back to that, man. We want to get back to that. If we can add an edge guy who can just, keep up and really be somebody who, when in the game, is holding it down, we need it. Because if we look at these teams, man, and this is what I've been trying to just really get people to understand. When we look at these teams, especially a team like the Detroit Lions, what makes them who they are, man, is just the depth, man. The fact that they had the season that they had with the amount of injuries just says a lot about what they built over there. And I feel like that is what makes you a solid football team, man. It's not just necessarily who you have, as a starter, but who you have coming in for that starter. We've seen situations where we have somebody like a Dexter Lawrence is being straight up Dex, but when he goes, takes a breather, he's to the sideline. I mean, how disastrous does it look? So, depth, man. That's the name of the game, and that's just where we need to fill in these holes at. Shout out to my dog, Ghost Dog. He says, "Yeah, peace and salute to the tribals." Yes, sir, man. Giant salute to my dog, Ghost Dog, in the chat, man. But yes, yeah, man. I feel like everybody's pretty much on the same page when it comes to the Jameis Winston thing. Jameis Winston, again, I know what it is. I know his position. Well, I feel like I know. Let me say that, because there's still a chance some goofy shit may happen. But I'm taking it for what it is as far as him being a backup. I just feel like you're not getting much better than that as a QB2. And again, everybody is, knows that Jameis Winston, he's a guy that's going to give Malik Neighbors that 50-50 ball. And that's what we need, man. That is what we need. We left so many plays out on the field because we haven't gave our guy, that 50-50 ball chance. I want y'all to remember with Tim Boyle, even Tim Boyle, what he did in that little small frame of time when he came in and he was looking decent. For real, I'll take Tim Boyle over Tommy DeVito, but that's just me. But even when we think about what Tim Boyle did this past season, he understood the assignment. He came in, I forgot what game it was, but whatever game, he came in and he was giving it to Malik. He was giving it to Malik because he understood that, you know what, at the end of the day, that's what we got him here for. We finally have a special talent and a true number one receiver. So we got to treat him like it. If all fails, we got to at least give that 50-50 ball to our guy. And we know Winston will do that. Ghost Dog says, F all the Winston hate. We got the best bridge for the outcome we want, TP Way. Time to go get our guy. Legendary. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I don't got my watch on. But y'all already know, man. Shador, for sure. Let's go get him. So make no mistake about that, man. That is. I don't want to mention the Jameis Winston thing. I know, people may be like, yo, why is he so hyped? Why is he so happy for Jameis Winston? But it's because I'm looking at Jameis Winston as that QB2 role. I think he is the perfect guy for that. I think he's the perfect guy to be behind the Shador Sanders. Y'all let me know what is a veteran quarterback or a backup quarterback that is providing their team with that energy that you get from Jameis Winston. We've watched games where Jameis Winston is on the sideline literally being the loudest cheerleader for whoever is in there. Go pay attention to what he was doing for Deshaun Watson. Success. Little of success that he was having, but how he was supporting him. How he was riding for him. It wasn't that soft, like sluggish, fake love type thing that, you getting from quarterbacks and stuff like that. No, Deshaun Watson, that's one hell of a quarterback. He on the sideline, whenever a play was made, guess who was on the field first? Cheering. Jameis Winston. You think that we don't need that? And if you think that is not an important factor, man, like we could laugh and joke about how the importance of a cheerleader is, but we've seen it firsthand. When Sterling Shepard was out, y'all see how we was playing when Sterling Shepard was out? And he was being that cheerleader on the sideline. He was being that extra voice. You seen how it translated on the field, how the players was feeding off of that. So we could discount it all we want to. We can laugh and joke about it, but that shit matters. That shit matters. So, yeah, man. I'm gonna stand by that one, man. I'm perfectly fine with a Jameis Winston, man. Perfectly fine. But again, look, that is that on that, man. That is all I got for y'all today, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Giant Huddle. Again, please make sure that you like. Please make sure that you comment and you subscribe. We are still on the road to 1,000 subscribers. 1,000 subscribers. Let's get there, baby. I'm trying to get there before the season starts. I'm going to keep it real with you. I've been putting in that work. I've been putting in that pain. And all I need y'all to do on your end is, for one, hold it down. Make sure that at all times you being a Giant soldier, a true Giant fan. You know what I mean? Don't let no clown-ass Eagle fan try to boss up on you or no shit like that. You know what I mean? Put them back in their place. Let them know what is up. And I also need you to, get the engagement going on this channel, man. Get the engagement going so we could, put the word out and keep things pushing. Lamar, I see you, my boy, says, don't worry, Jameis Winston going to have a resurgence. I put my house on it, and that's the energy I love. Talk your shit. I'm with you. Put the house on it. That's a fact. I'm with you. But yes, man, that is that on that, man. Again, giant salute to each and every one of you, man. Until next time, we're going to keep our ears to the streets. Peace.
Tip away the giant here.